So, good evening, good evening, good evening. We are back again. 4 straight victories, top of the table, and not great yesterday, but we are still top of the table. Big up to everybody who checked out the fan cams yesterday. If you haven't, make sure you do go and check them out after this stream. Make sure you stick a like on the video. Subscribe to JEZ'S channel as well. The link is in the description. And Jez, how are you, mate?
All good, man. All good. Yeah. Enjoyed the game yesterday. It was a fight to the end. We got it over the line. So yeah, it's all good. It's all positive.
Kenny, back again with the dressing gown. It must be cold in England.
No, it's not cold. It's just that, dressing gowns always got to come out. We've won 4 games in a row. And I'll second what Jez says. It was very entertaining game. Not in quite the way that we would have liked in terms of how we played against Leicester and Bournemouth. But yeah, there was some good entertainment. It was a good tactical battle, I thought, from both sides. And we kept on knocking that door, and finally we won. It was always going to be a deflection. It was always going to be a mistake that would have helped us with it, and we capitalised both times.
And saying yesterday that we did against Leicester as well is when we conceded last season, we would have folded. Now this season, it does seem like we've woken up a little bit, and we don't tend to feel sorry for ourselves after conceding a goal. Last season, we wouldn't have probably come back in that game. They would have dug out a 1-0 win or maybe a draw at best, but we wouldn't have won it. So this season, I've seen a bit more character, if people want to call it that, than previous seasons. Let's start with you, Jez. We've obviously watched the football today. Tottenham won again. Chelsea won yesterday. Liverpool absolutely wiped the floor with Bournemouth. Yeah, and it's funny because I checked some football scores earlier, and Celtic won 9-0 today as well.
Yeah,
it's mad, isn't it? So some of these teams should just liquidate, really, like just fold. But Man United, they won as well, a scrappy 1-0. We've got them coming up soon. It looks like the season's starting to take shape. The first 4 games or whatever, yeah, you probably shouldn't look at the table anyway. But where are you with Arsenal right now, Jez? Obviously, you've seen the first 4 games. We've got Aston Villa on Wednesday and then Man United after that. Obviously, we know the fixtures coming up in October as well. Where are you with the team, mate? And do you think before the transfer window shuts, we need some more players in? If so, where?
Yeah, mate, I still think we need another striker. I don't think we'll get one, sadly. I don't know whether we'll get Tielemans now with Fofana going. So Leicester don't look great this season, let's be honest. So I think we may miss out. I was positive the other day, but this Fofana news, can't see it now, sadly. So I still think we need another midfielder and possibly a right back. But I think we've left it. We have done some good business. Let's get it right. I'm not slagging the club off. We've brought in 2 absolutely, totally class footballers in JEZ'S and Zinchenko. So I'm all good. Regarding the team, mate, results, I'm very positive. I like what I see. What I like, as I said yesterday on the fan cam, I think, or player ratings. What I see different this season is that when Arsenal lose the ball, they go and immediately fight to get it back. Last season, that was not the case. And the team are fighting for each other, something we haven't seen for quite some time. And I'm liking that. Yeah. So, yes, I am Mr. Positive. And I know I've had comments about that, but it is what it is. It's not Arteta FC. This is Arsenal FC. And my love for the club is Arsenal FC, not Mr. Arteta FC. So, yeah, people call me critical of him, and I've had every right to be. But at this point in time, if people actually go and watch what I've said in detail, I've been very positive about Mikel Arteta. So it is what it is. And we move on to Villa on Wednesday night. And I'm positive about that game.
Yeah, they lost again today. I think he'll be getting sacked if he loses to us heavily. But yeah, well said, mate. Look, at the end of the day, Yeah, people are come and watch it regardless, Jez. Yeah, there's people in this chat that don't like me. There's people watching it that don't like me. They still come and watch it every week. So just say what you want to say, mate. Yeah, don't let people bully you or push you into a corner. Like, and if you're being positive about the club, be positive, innit? Yeah, if you're being negative about the club, be negative about it. End of the day, people seem to think that they can suppress people's opinions. I don't know who these people seriously think they are. You know, nobody's shutting me up. If I want to say the club's a disgrace, I'll say the club's a disgrace.
Yeah.
If I want to say Odegaard didn't play well yesterday, he didn't play well yesterday. If I want to say he played great and he was man of the match the week before, he was man of the match. At the end of the day, I say what I feel. If people will always disagree with saying you got to say. Yeah, so if you're ultra positive, somebody's going to disagree with it. If you're ultra negative, somebody's going to disagree. If you sit in the middle, somebody's going to disagree. So just say what you want. That's how I see it.
I do, mate, and I. But what makes me laugh so much, Lee, Kenny, is that all of a sudden you get accused of being a flip-flop. Well, I'm not being a flip-flop. At the end of the day, I have my opinion, and my opinion is the same, and it hasn't changed. All I am saying is I'm very happy with what I'm seeing from Arsenal Football Club, right? Not Mikel Arteta Football Club. Yeah, and I've praised up some of these players. And if they're playing great, I'll say they're playing great. If they're playing crap, I'll say they're playing crap. And I don't care what anybody thinks. That's my opinion. Simple as. And I won't.
Well said. Kenny, you was at the game. First half was a bit of a bore fest. It was a bit of a mad one. But where do you think, because obviously Zinchenko and Thomas Partey were both out injured yesterday. And obviously El Neni was in there. The drop-off in quality is just mad. And they were all over him in the start of that game as well, like trying to stop him getting on the ball. Where do you feel, other than maybe that position, that we need to strengthen? And where are you at with the team at the minute?
Well, first and foremost, you know, you got to give kudos to Fulham, you know, because at the end of the day, as Jez says, you know, it's all about Arsenal Football Club's the most important thing, but the club is the star. But the most important story in anything to do with football is the match, and you have to analyse the match as you see it. If a player plays well, then you can say that, and if you feel he's played badly, you can say that. Regards that, whether we win, lose, or draw, you have to be fair and accurate, because you lose credibility if you're just a fanboy, which not all three of us can categorically say aren't fanboys of anybody, and that's why we get respect. We may be disliked, not people particularly fond of us, but they respect us because we stick to our guns, because we're going to talk about the game. And you talk about the first half, you say it's boring. I say, well, that's what Fulham wanted it to be, boring. They didn't want Arsenal to play at the back. They didn't want Arsenal to have time on the ball. They wanted Mitrovic to be up front, and they wanted him to hold the ball up, because a lot of people just look at centre forwards and think, oh, yeah, puts the ball in the net, busts up a bit of skill, but I don't understand the work, you know, running over those channels, you know, leading the line and holding the ball up. Because what Mitrovic did is he held the ball up and enabled all their players to get in the positions. So when Arsenal did get the ball, anytime Arsenal put the cross in, they could clear the ball. Anytime Arsenal held onto the ball too long, they can go and mark their individual target within that battle. So for me, I liked it, because, you know me, I like good defending, I like a tactical battle. But one thing we get off in the first half, we held on the ball way too long, and everyone was guilty with it, including Martin Odegaard, and so was Saka, and so was Martinelli. You know, we didn't fashion up. We only probably had one good chance, but second half, you know, even then, you know, we played a lot better, and we had created a few chances through Odegaard, but, you know, that playing around the back, staking too long the ball, Mitrovic bullying, not just our centre-halves, but he bullied El Neni, because El Neni wasn't able to, you know, give us a good screen. And it, you know, took for Eddie Nketiah to come on to change the game. And, you know, I stand by that. A lot of people thought, well, Odegaard was man of the match. I said, yeah, eventually he was, but Eddie Nketiah is the one who created a space for both, you know, for us to control the game, especially when we win a goal down. But in terms of getting bodies in midfield, 100%. And it's with Thomas Partey. You know, Thomas Partey is such a massive, massive influence on both sides of midfield, either, you know, enabling our forwards to, you know, dominate the last third and help protect our defence. He is basically three players in one. He is exactly playing the kind of football that we paid the Madrid for. He is producing his Madrid form, but he isn't able to do that because of injuries. So we have to look in that situation and think, you know what, as we've done with Kieran Tierney, we've not been able to rely on him too greatly. We've got a quality, alternative in Zinchenko, so we need to replicate that with Thomas Partey. Right back still worries me a lot, although I thought Ben White did quite well yesterday. Especially up and down defensively, and towards
he was definitely playing a lot higher up yesterday. That's for sure.
Yeah. So but I still would like an orthodox right back because, as we all say, everyone says short term. It's not about the short term. I've just seen the Spurs game. It's not a sprint. It's a marathon. And with the World Cup coming along, there's going to be injuries. Playing 3 games, from September up until November before the World Cup, we are going to need more bodies in. So it's midfield, definitely a right back. Although I wouldn't be surprised if we get the way Saka's playing. I wouldn't be surprised if we look at giving him a bit of a break because we're going to come to that later. But I still want a centre forward as well, not a centre forward, but a forward who can hold the ball up. Do a job that Mitrovic did for Fulham, especially when we go to main road. Sorry, I call it main road. Etihad, Spurs is grand. The Tottenham Hotspur Stadium, Anfield, Old Trafford. Those games where we're probably going to be having less of the football, we are going to need that kind of striker to, hold the ball up and get us in positions where we can protect ourselves.
100% agree, mate. I think a striker is a necessity. We have to go and buy a striker. If Gabriel Jesus gets injured, we're doomed. We are doomed. Yes, Eddie came on and run around a lot and had a couple of chances. We can see he ain't clinical enough when he gets the chances. Yes, he'll score a couple of goals here and there, but we need somebody that buries them chances. And people are sitting and go, oh yeah, but no striker scores all their goals. Okay, cool. Why were you all slagging Aubameyang off last season then? Because if no striker's going to score all their chances, why did you hound him out? Do you know what I'm saying? It's people pick and choose when they want things to go in their favour. And the thing with me is everyone's hype and gassed that we're top of the table. Cool, be top, be happy, be positive about the club. Well done. Yeah, but these people seem to forget that the bench we had yesterday was an absolute joke. Yeah, and it's when you're looking at that bench, nobody can honestly sit there 100% hand on heart and say, yeah, that's the top 4 squad. Because it ain't. If he gets top 4, cool. Yeah, if he gets top 4, cool. But compared to what I'm seeing from other teams, I'm sorry, it's not going to happen. We're going to have injuries. Thomas Partey, there's a lot of rumours doing the rounds. I don't deal with rumours. I'm just going to deal with what we were told yesterday, that he was injured. Whether I believe that or not is irrelevant, but he's injured. Zinchenko didn't look very injured when he was running down the touchline to celebrate for the goal. I actually thought it was a fan. I was like, there's a fan on the pitch because he was dressed in black. But hopefully he'll be back soon because Tierney was awful yesterday. I didn't think he was great at all. But again, if you look just 2 players out of our team and the level of performance goes from up here to down here, just like that. Yeah, and yes, we know Fulham are going to press, they're going to hurry, they're going to hustle and bustle you, but it shouldn't matter. Yeah, we should be wiping the floor with them every time we play them. No disrespect to them, but we're miles clear of them. Yeah, and yes, they've got Mitrovic. Yes, they've got a couple of other players that can hassle you, but we should be battering them. And for me, that's a wake-up call. Yeah, to the club, to the fans, to everybody, and the players to say, well, we're not maybe as good as we thought we were. Yeah, because that game on another day would have lost. Yeah, and going forward into bigger games, like you said, Kenny, Etihad, Anfield, White Hart Lane, Stamford Bridge. If we put a performance in like we did yesterday, I don't see us winning. Yeah, and that's where the top 4 is going to be decided by beating teams in and around you. Yeah, I see Crystal Palace yesterday go up to the Etihad and go 2-0 up. When was the last time we did that? Yes, I know they lost before anyone starts getting smart. But they run out of gas, they run out of steam in the second half. And as soon as City got the first goal, you knew they'd come back. When was the last time we were 2-0 down and came back and won? Do you know what I'm saying? That's the level, the quality difference between us and them is mad. And the money we've spent, I expect better than what we've got sat on that bench. No disrespect. We've got players that shouldn't even be here. Rob Holding coming on just to get his little bonus. It's pathetic. For me, we need a right back, a right winger, a striker, a DM, and maybe a number 10 that can bag goals, although the one we've got is scoring at the moment. And I love how I trigger so many people by cussing him.
Yeah.
It's like people get so pressed. He weren't great yesterday. Get over it. Oh, but he scored. And how many times did Man United fans sit there and raving on about Bruno Fernandes? Yeah, he's fucking awful. He is awful. Oh, but he scored 27 goals in one season. Who cares? Yeah, it's awful. But anyway, be humble. We're top. Come back to me in May. Judge in May, Jamie. Judge in May. Let's move on to one of our starting 11 players, Bukayo Saka. I think he's started the last 89 out of 101 games for Arsenal in the league, I think. I think it was league. 89 starts in the last 101. Jez, he looked knackered yesterday, and he's looked knackered at times before last season, at the start of the season, towards the end of the season as well. He looked shot to bits. But if you factor in the fact that he plays all these games, 90 minutes pretty much for us, then he plays international as well for England, pretty much 90 minutes in that as well. We desperately need a right winger, mate. And we desperately need to give this boy a little bit of a break here and there. He's 20 years old. We're going to have him absolutely worn out by 22, aren't we?
Well, yeah, I mean, I've seen a gradual decline in Saka's performance for, well, it started, I would have said, probably March last year, maybe even February this year, I beg your pardon. And he certainly isn't looking the player he was to me. And I thought yesterday he had a very poor game. I totally agree with what you're saying. He does look burnt out to me at the moment. And I totally agree that he needs some time out. You know, if we had a player that we could put in for him. Oh, we did once. We had a bloke called Pepe. But, oh well. Yeah, I fear for him because I can see something really bad happening to that kid that gets a real bad muscle calf injury or tears a hamstring. And I understand that he wants to play because he obviously wants to get in the England squad for the World Cup. Fair play to him. But you can't treat young players like this. You know, playing them week in, week out. I dare say he'll start on Wednesday night. I'm convinced of that. Personally, if it was me, I wouldn't start him. I'd have him on the bench and maybe bring him on at 55 minutes or something like that if we need to. But yeah, we can't keep doing this. And we've seen this happen. And this is one of the things that I have big doubts about with Mikel Arteta. We have a very weak bench. So who would we play in his place?
Well, that's the thing. Like, when I was watching the game yesterday, I was thinking we could put Martinelli on the right and then bring Smith Rowe on the left. Now I was thinking, well, we ain't seen anything of this Marquinhos that's hyped up to be the next Brazilian superstar. So why don't we throw him on? Yeah, say to him, go on, son, go and have 20 minutes run around. Yeah, go. You're coming on for Saka. And we put him on. And listen, people that take certain bits about what we're saying and then just make up a whole new story, by the way. We're not slagging Saka off for anyone who wants to cry about it. The boy's 20 years old and he's playing 90 minutes of football every single week. Yeah, we need somebody in there, not only to challenge him on his position, because you might get comfortable at some point. I mean, he's not looking great at the moment. I'm not saying he is being comfortable. For me, I just think he's knackered. And then you need somebody to come in and be able to be that player to give him a rest. Yeah, because from Wednesday, we've got a game every week in midweek. Yeah, we've got Wednesday, Sunday, Thursday, Sunday, Thursday, Sunday, Thursday, all the way up till November. Yeah, he can't play every single game. And I know we're going to rotate here and there, but I guarantee as soon as we get into that schedule, he'll play maybe 75 to 80% of them games. Yeah, now I guarantee he'll feature in some of the Europa League. He'll play every Premier League game. And he'll feature in some of them Europa League games, especially PSV. He'll play in that game. I don't see us going away to PSV with a completely second string 11. I don't see it. Yeah, if he wants to take this competition serious, then he's going to have to play some of these better players. But we need some competition there, definitely. What do you think, Kenny?
Well, it's something I mentioned with fan cam as well. He was getting a lot of moans and groans, and the guy next to me was screaming to take him off. And I kept on talking to a guy, behind me called John. He comes every week. He's been there since we've been in the Emirates for 16 years. And I said, has he lost a yard of pace? And I said to him, I don't mean the yard that you lose if you in terms of age or injury, but I just think in terms of like fatigue, there's a lot of things he's doing that he's easy to mark. Anthony and Robinson didn't have a difficult time with him. We tried to move him down to left wing back. It didn't work out as well. He wasn't putting those crosses in when he was trying to, make those little passes. He was too slow, and Fulham were bad with getting positions. And remember, it's not his fault what happened with a goal, but it was his pass, wasn't it, to Gabriel? That where Gabriel just went and sort of like went walkies and started having a Walter Mitty moment. But there's no doubt that I've been saying it for a long time. Mick Arteta's theory of give the ball to Saka and win the game for us was very prevalent during the lockdown season and last season as well. He's basically been carrying the club and carrying our attack, whether we like it or not. And that is an indictment on the fact that we've had Aubameyang who's fallen out of the manager, lost form because the manager wasn't playing to his strengths. Lacazette performances after Aubameyang left was unforgettable, and really just if you were to have a sort of a film on Lacazette's performances, it definitely wouldn't make a profit of it. It'd be a box office flop. So we've been basically battering this lad into the ground, and even though we're trying to get even more personal in, we're still looking towards him to win his matches, and it's just not working for him. And if he wasn't going to use Pepe, which is neglectful anyway, and then basically if you're not sticking two fingers up to Pepe, then I don't know what is. A player's knackered, needs a rest, and you still wouldn't play Pepe. Clearly don't rate him, don't want the club. So, the next cabinet rank was Rafinha, but he's gone to Barcelona. So another cabinet rank has got to be Neto, because we do have to give this guy a break. He won't want a break. I can tell you that. A young player wants to play every big game. If we're winning the games and playing it and exciting our fans like we're doing at the moment, he's no way is he not want to play, but he needs an arm around the shoulder. He needs his boss to think about not just his team, but think about Saka, the boy, the man, because at the end of the day, he's got a duty of care to the lad. I know you want to win matches, and I know on his day he scares the living sea out of opposition defenders, because he does commit defenders. He is direct, and he's got a little yard of pace where he gets in the box, and he's either going to create a chance where he can have a shot on target, or he'll draw a foul. So I understand fully why Mick Arteta needs him in the team. But at the moment, you're running a lad in the ground. Give him a break, mate. Because at the end of the day, we see it with so many young players. Look at Jack. Ran at the ground. Look at him now. He's at the age of 30 instead of being in the prime of his career, he's scratching for a coaching job with our youngsters. I'm not saying that can happen with Saka, but in this day and age, overexertion.
It was the same with Wayne Rooney, though. Wayne Rooney was flogged to death, wasn't he? Wayne Rooney was another. Michael Owen was another one. As soon as we have good young English players, they get flogged to death, and then they're fucked and finished by the time they're 30.
This has been happening for like since I've been watching football. As a kid in the 70s, when I was only about 5, when I first started taken interest in football in 77. We've always seen young players, and then you think, well, what happened to him? Flogged to death, retiring early. Van Basten, one of the best writers ever. He got an early injury when he was 18, when he played for Ajax in Groningen, where he did a stupid tackle. They kept on forcing him back from injury because of the fact he was a great talent, great player, even though he was probably finished. He retired at 28, and the last 2 years before he retired, he hardly ever played. So it happens, burnout.
Yeah, it's true, man. I agree. Listen, he's not going to want to be benched. He's not going to want to be being taken off. No player likes that. Yeah, but at the end of the day, there's no way we can go a whole season with just Bukayo Saka on that wing. Can't do it. Yeah, we could not do it. We need somebody else there. Yeah, and God forbid he gets injured. Then what? Then what do we put in there? Like, what do we do then? What's the game plan after that? We need to go and get someone in this market. For me, it's Pedro Neto. Love that geezer. I think he's quality. But I don't think we will go and get Neto. I don't think we will. I think we're going to go more for a CM, and it's one or the other. Yeah, that's how I see it. And I'm hoping in a way that they wake up and yesterday they see, oh, hang on, Partey and Zinchenko both out. We're with Xhaka and El Neni again from 7 years ago. We need midfielders, but we do need a winger as well. Big up to everyone in the chat. Big up to everybody dropping super chats in. I'm replying to you as we go along. Big up Chai Tanya. Lads, I thought Arteta got serious in the end and switched up wings and added Eddie. I like the urgency, but we lack quality off the bench. Totally agree, mate. Totally agree. It took a goal down to actually wake us up yesterday, which wasn't a bad thing in the end. We won the game, but yeah, we need to be playing better. Saka being fatigued is all the more reason we should be going out for now. Totally agree. Yeah, totally agree. Big up to you, Suleiman. I hope you're well. Smash the likes up as well, people. We're currently not on enough likes. 179, and there's 800 of you here watching. Mad how we get views after a win, isn't it? Who knew? Who knew? But anyway, make sure you subscribe to JEZ'S channel as well. The link is in the description. We have got Aston Villa on Wednesday, Jez, and they're in a bit of trouble, aren't they? They're not doing great at the minute. I was kind of flicking between that game and the Wolves-Newcastle game. But they're in big trouble, I think, this season. He's gone in there and not really done much, has he, Gerard? And I think after being at Rangers, I think, me included, I thought he'd come down here and it'd do all right. But don't seem to be happening for him at the minute, does it?
Well, I think it proves one fact to me, and no disrespect. The Scottish League is a totally, totally different entity to the Premier League. And yeah, I think, sadly for Gerard, if Arsenal beat them, and I think we will, the way we're playing at the moment, the intensity, the passion, and fight that Arsenal are doing at the moment, and the fact of Arsenal are obviously playing with great confidence, which is another fact I love to see. Haven't seen it for a long time. I think Arsenal will beat Aston Villa, and I am going to go my positivity 3-0. I think that'll be his time done for Gerard personally.
Yeah, I do. I think if we beat him, then he's gone.
That's my prediction. I'm going 3-0.
Well, what about you, Kenny? They've lost today at home to West Ham. Right? He's got some players in that he's wanted. Callum Chambers is a player that he wanted. He got Coutinho in. You know, Danny Ings is another one. You know, he's got players in that he's wanted. That ain't quite happening for him, is it?
Well, not too funny. He's created a problem that wasn't there. You know, he's gone about it the wrong way. Yes, we all know that Tyrone Mings was going through like a bit of a trough in form, but the way you got rid of the captaincy, the way he explained it, smacked of arrogance to me. You know, and then the way you're trying to say, oh yeah, he's all right with it, and the way he went, oh, I inherited him as a captain, and you know, I wanted to make sure it was my decision and my thing. Fair enough, but say that in private. You know, that's not going to endear you to the team. Yeah, so who's going to be next? You know, because you're basically saying, I don't rate any of the players that have been inherited by Dean Smith. So you just before the season starts, right at the 11th hour, you're giving yourself a man management problem. Now, I don't know what goes on behind the scenes, but with the players Villa have, they should be doing better. So really and truly, if we do turn them over, and I expect us to turn them over because we're a better team than them, and they're not playing with any confidence, even though they got players like Danny Ings as a hard worker, Watkins, a player that we coveted, believe it or not, way before we even thought about getting JEZ'S. And then they got Coutinho, they got actually good Premiership players.
Danny Ings,
they got
John McGinn.
Yeah, John McGinn as well, a good Premiership player.
He's there. Matt Cash is a good player.
Matt Cash as well. The players he has, he got, but he also, Villa need to stop, feeling sorry for themselves. Jack Grealish is gone. It's over. They still, in my opinion, haven't learned how to play without Jack Grealish. You can't replace Jack Grealish. You've got to change your style. Jack Reeves was your main man. He was coming to take the ball off the goalie or the centre halves, and then he was sometimes he's playing a false number 9. Then he was on the right and the left, and he was virtually your alpha and omega. Learn how to play without him, man. And so that's another reason why that could cost Gerrard, because on that performance, with the players he's got, I'm sorry, any chairman worth their salt or owner worth their salt, if he's looking at the amount of money Villa has spent since they sold Grealish, and they haven't bought rubbish, they bought quality players, plus they got experience as well, players, and they're still trying to get even more experience. Matt Dawson from West Ham. It beggars belief that they're still in that position. So yes, it is a sackable offence if they don't start winning.
Well, they bought the replacement for Grealish and Emi Buendia. Somebody again that we were looked at, and we were being told by our fan base, he's amazing. What a player! He's done absolutely nothing for Aston Villa. Literally nothing. I think he's scored a couple of goals.
Veta FC, you are right. Danny Ings was bought by Dean Smith. But what we're saying is that even though he's Dean Smith's bought him, he's still an experienced performer. And he had a very, very good time at Southampton, where he reinvented himself after not being able to, figure in Liverpool because of knee injuries, and Liverpool just went past him, getting players like Mane, Salah. There was no way of him getting in the side. So he has reinvented himself. But with the players that, whether Gerrard likes it or not, that is not a team that should be relegated, not with the money he spent. And football's a ruthless game. It's a results business. I was talking to a fan yesterday about my stance on Arteta. I said, have you changed your mind? I said, well, sometimes a foot manager, there's a lot of ingredients that will help you. Support from the manager, support from the players, support from the crowd, and support from the pundits. But the most important ingredients that keeps you in the job is actually results. And that's probably going to cost Gerrard.
100%. Just a bit of breaking news. Manchester United have agreed a fee with Ajax of 100 million euros for Anthony. That's a big price tag, mate. Wow. That is a big price tag, isn't it? It's funny because as soon as they have riots and protests, their owners suddenly buck their ideas up and go and spend money. It's mad, isn't it? When they stormed the stadium against Liverpool, all of a sudden, bang, 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 Ronaldo, Varane, they're all coming in now. They've got Casemiro and Antony straight in. They've got Eriksen already. It's mad, isn't it? 100 million, Jez.
Wow.
I don't want to hear no Man United fans ever mention Pepe again if this guy flops. Real talk, 100 million. That is. And the thing is, I know he's not in charge of the fee that's being paid for him, and it ain't our money, so who cares? But that is a lot of money for somebody of that age to come into Manchester United when they're in turmoil. Yeah, and has to... Say again, mate.
Is that about 85, 90 or something? 85, 90 million?
Yeah, it's 85 million.
Wow. Christ.
Mad, isn't it?
That's
absolutely mad.
That almost smacks of desperation to me, but Man United, they're massive, huge, biggest club in England. They've been in the doldrums how they started the season. All right, they're picking themselves up now. What worries me now, we've got them in a few weeks.
This weekend, next Sunday.
Yeah, next Sunday. And it's at Old Trafford. And we know, I've seen some funny comments, really, how they started the season as Arsenal did last season, and now they're picking themselves up. And we always know Man United turn up against Arsenal because we are massive rivals, and, it goes back in time. So that worries me now because I'm thinking, oh dear. I can't profess I know a lot about this player from Ajax. I don't. I'm not one of these people that looks at every player in the world. I don't. I've only got 2 computers, one for doing this. So,
you've not got all the monitors up around the house then, no?
No, sorry. I actually do have a life. You can actually get out of the house and do things. But wow, yeah, I mean that shocks me. But fair play to them. I'm led to believe he's a very, very, very good young player.
He's extremely skillful. He's very talented. Yeah, but he's got a burst of pace as well. So like he's so tricky. He's going to get penalties all day long. Yeah, defenders won't have a clue. They'll just start hacking him down. But he's very step overs and stuff like that, like tricks and skills, which is cool and it'll work to a certain degree. But it's going to be interesting to see how, like I said, £100 million price tag over your head at that age is mad. What do you reckon, Kenny?
Well, the fact is that he's a going rate, and it's applied that, you know, Van Ten Hag, if Jerry feels he needs. You know, the fact is that Man United over the years have always played their best football when they've had wingers. You know, if you go back to like George Best's days, you go back to Giggs, you know, Kanchelskis, Lee Sharp. You know, if you want to call Beckham a winger, feel free to call him that. And, you know, Cristiano Ronaldo, when he first went there as a winger. That's how Man United, you know, so they are going to need that kind of player. You know, they're going to need, and, you know, the fact is with Man United is they do spend the money. You know, sometimes it doesn't work out. But the problem with Man United since Sir Alex Ferguson has left, it reminds me of the 80s before he went there. When you know they used to always spend money. When I was a kid, Man United always spent money on big players. But the problem is that you have to have the personality to succeed at Man United. You know what I mean? You have to, you know, be able to deal with the big games, deal with the expectation, and say, right, this is my stage. And I think, and you have to have the right manager who believes it's his stage as well. And the only managers at Man United who obviously before I was born, it's Max Busby, and after that was Sir Alex Ferguson. There's only two managers who've actually brought real success to Man United, and I think that's where the problem is. The Man United I'm seeing now was the Man United I grew up as a kid. So in terms of this player now, if he doesn't have the personality to, you know, to succeed in Man United, then he's going to struggle. You know, Pogba's a world class player, but he didn't see himself as a leader and the one who felt it was his stage. He talked a good game about how Man United sold him and didn't give him a chance. He went to Juventus. He's come back. That's your stage, mate. Lukaku, that's your stage. They spent that money on you. One, it's a going rate because they can win it. And that's the thing. Until they start getting a manager who believes it's his stage, and they get players who believe that they belong at Man United and can deal with everything that comes with Man United, the BS, you know, like the constant nonsense you hear on the newspapers. Whenever Man United lose a game, it's like how to say it? It's like the 3-day strikes in the 70s. It's like an event.
Yeah.
You know, you've got to be able to deal with that. And these players who've come since Sir Alex has left haven't been able to do it. The managers haven't been able to do it. Even Mourinho, you know, who we thought was going to do it, couldn't do it. Moyes couldn't deal with it. And, you know, so it was just too nice to be a United manager, even though he got results because he basically let the players play. But, you know, it's all about, like, personality, organisation to succeed at that club because, you know, if you can't, then you're going to die there.
100% agree, mate. Totally agree. And the thing is, somebody in the chat a minute ago said about FFP with the amount of money they're spending. Yeah, and the thing is, Manchester United's income is just a joke. Like, it's ridiculous. They're one of the biggest clubs, probably the top 3 biggest clubs in the world. Yeah, top 3 or 4 maybe. Yeah, with Madrid, Barca, and Bayern. Yeah, they're probably the 4 biggest clubs in the world. Their income dwarfs ours, mate. Yeah, it's a 70 million here, 85 million there. It don't matter. They're well within their spending. Yeah, otherwise they would have already been investigated with the amount of money they've spent over the last 5 years. It's crazy. This window, they've done 55 million on Lisandro. They've done 60 on Casemiro. They've done 100 on him. Yeah, they bought I think they got Ericsson on a free. They've done 5 million on a goalkeeper, Dubravna. Is that his name? I think so. From Newcastle, I think he is. But yeah, they've done about 250 million quid. And I think they'll still go and get another player as well. I think they'll do something before deadline day. And it's mad that they can just go bang 250 just like that.
Yeah.
the thing is, they're so smart, Man United. Very similar to Arsenal. Both clubs are very similar. They've both been a shambles off the pitch, for about a decade. And they think let's just throw money at the situation. But they're throwing, a lot of the times, both of our clubs are throwing money at the wrong people. Like we done 72 million on Pepe. He went 72 million pound player. I like him. Yeah, and I think he's a quality footballer. Went 72 mil. Yeah, and Man United done it with Pogba. 90 mil. Didn't really work out, did it?
No.
Like, and now he's gone for free. We're letting Pepe go on loan. Sometimes, like, these football clubs, they just absolutely have no idea what they're doing and just think, well, we're just going, oh, we do that. Oh, we'll go and get that. Oh, that'll fix that. Yeah, there's no planning sometimes. And I think that's the case at Man United. They got Malacia as well. Now, they've done about 250 million quid this summer. That's insane.
Yeah.
And the thing is, if this boy comes in and smashes it, then they are going to fly, because from what I've seen, I don't watch Dutch football every week. I don't watch it at all, if I'm honest. But from what I've seen, just of the clips doing the rounds, and I've seen good and bad, by the way, not just the compilation of his good bits. I've seen the crap bits as well. He is very talented, and obviously he's being lauded up as the next Neymar, the next star of Brazil, and all of this. That's a lot of weight on his shoulders, man. A lot of weight, and we've seen the same with Jadon Sancho when he came in. Yeah, he ain't really done it at Man United, has he? But we shall see. We shall see. Big up to everyone watching, man. Nearly 900 in here. Make sure you smash the likes up, people. Share the stream around as well. Make sure you subscribe to JEZ'S channel. The link for that is in the description. Arsenal history and more. Let's talk about the other rivals for top four. Let's start with Tottenham, because they played today. Harry Kane missed a penalty. Yes, you heard right. He missed a penalty. The keeper saved it. And the keeper was jumping around like he'd won the World Cup when he saved it. I think he was so shocked that he saved a Harry Kane penalty. It didn't really sink in. But Jez, what did you make of them? Because I see a lot of people in the chat at the beginning, and just in general when it comes to Tottenham, of they're a crap team and they've just got a top striker. What do you make of them? Are they a crap team? And,
yeah.
You think, yeah?
I think the trouble is, Lee, they have made some decent signings. They have a top world-class manager, and they'll get better. They've started slow, in my opinion, but we know what Tottenham can do. They're no longer a team that we can laugh at, and anybody that does, I think you're very wrong. I think they will be, by the start of the World Cup, they'll be up there. They'll be up. They're in third now, I think it is. And they're a team we have to worry about. I mean, I've been watching some of the comments in the chat here, and there's a certain fella, he's giving it the large. Don't count your chickens, because Arsenal have had a great start to the season. I'm confident about Wednesday night. But we have to still be aware of what's around us, and Tottenham's one of them. Now, I know, Lee, you don't agree with what Kenny and I say about they are our biggest rivals. To me, they are our biggest rivals because it's history. I know, yes, I made a statement earlier about Man United are a massive rival to us. Of course they are, because for many seasons back in time, we were always challenging with them who's going to win. Fine. And I've had comments of, yeah, but Tottenham, they've never challenged for anything for years. Right. Well, watch this space. I'm not saying they're going to challenge for the league, but they ripped us a new one last season and we didn't get top four. So watch this space, people. Watch
and
this.
They've not been great at all this season. In the games that I've watched them, they ain't been great, but they've still got 10 points. They've not lost a game yet, and they've played Chelsea. And I know Chelsea are a little bit here and there at the moment, but again, Chelsea are what, 5 points behind us? Yeah, but let me have a look. Where's it say? Yeah, they've won 2, drawn 1, lost 1. Tottenham haven't lost a game. 3 wins, 1 draw. 10 points. They're scoring goals as well. They've scored 2 less than us. And when I watch Tottenham, I don't. It's not like you're on the edge of your seat with excitement every time you watch them. They're quite boring to watch. Yeah, but what they have got is a top manager and a top forward line. You know, Son weren't great today. I don't think Kane was great today. The amount of times gave the ball away, but they are a problem. They are definitely a problem. What do you think, Kenny?
Well, yeah, watching the game today, one thing Spurs did really well was that they got bodies in the box when Forest were trying to, like make inroads into their defence. And then if a Spurs player made a mistake, everyone got a position to to help the players. I think Forest were their worst enemies. And the reason why they were worst enemies is because they did get themselves in good positions, but the final pass was the wrong pass. You know, I saw Brennan Johnson. Everyone's talking about Brennan Johnson, but there was a time when he could have just, there were times when I thought he made the wrong decisions. And, I thought they were a bit predictable the way they attacked. And Spurs just soaked it up and just played classic counter-attacking football. There's one time when Forest were on the attack, when Spurs break the attack out, and they had 5 on 3. Lucky for Forest, they didn't Kulusevski made the wrong decision. But saying that, Spurs haven't played well at all. They haven't played this kind of football we played. But one thing about Spurs, Jez has touched on. Yeah, I agree with Jez. They are our rivals. They do rip us a new one for the, in terms of the top 4. But one thing you can't deny, you look at their bench. They had Richarlison come off the bench to come and take the away game from.
They got Basuma out of the bench.
Basuma came on as well, and then they for a sentimental reason, they gave Jed Spence a go. Now that's someone who we coveted last year as well. So in terms of Spurs, what they're doing right now, and it's something we did yesterday as well. You don't always have to play well. It's like the old saying in football: you can't, you don't always play your best players in order to have your best team. You can't always get your best results. Play with your best performances, and they've learned how to grind results out. They make at the right times when Forest made mistakes because they got Harry Kane and the quality of him. He puts it away. He misses a penalty, but what's happened? Richarlison comes on after where the cross gets cut out from Sessegnon. Richarlison's hungry, swerves across in. Harry Kane, Forest is sleeping, puts the ball in there.
Mate, I thought that was mad to leave him wide open at the back stick. Like, you've got to look at yourself in the mirror when you walk in the dressing room and go, I was shit today. Like, how do you leave Kane unmarked?
Yeah, and then give away, and that's the thing. The thing about Spurs is that good teams look, to be a good side. We all know what you like when there's no pressure, when you're playing a crap team, and I don't really like using those words on your podcast, but when people let you run at them, people let you have time on the ball, and you're playing well and everyone's hunky-dory. You learn more about a team when they're under the cosh, but they hang in there. They get bodies in the box when teams are on the attack, and then they have the quality to put the game away, to go to bed, and that's what Spurs did. I don't think you're going to be seeing Spurs play well for quite a while. You're probably only going to see them play well when they probably play us at the Emirates, because they haven't beaten us at the Emirates. They've only won once in nearly 30 years at the Emirates Stadium. If you take away I haven't included the cup win in the League Cup when they scored 2 great goals to beat us, but you never know. One thing is that there's going to be a situation when Spurs are going to peak, and I hope that when they peak, we're ahead of them still. But one of the things is that Harry Kane says something very, very, very true. It's not it's not a sprint, it's a marathon. You remember, you got the FA Cup, they've got 2 games in 3 days. So in terms of what they're doing, even though they're not playing well, they're going along the right lines. They've got quality coming on the bench, and that's something I want us to replicate in the next 4 days.
100%, mate. We definitely need some quality. That's for sure. Let's talk about Chelsea as well. They won. They won 2-0. Sterling with his first goals for the club. The first goal was a little bit fortunate, looped over the goalkeeper. The second goal, it is what it is, isn't it? But what do you make of Chelsea, Jez? Because they've just done 75 million or 80 million on Fofana. They've done Sterling in there for 45. And sorry, it was 2-1, not 2-0. It was 2-1. And they're still in for Aubameyang. who could potentially end up going there. I've just seen Barcelona are 3-0 up. Lewandowski's got a brace already. And Aubameyang might not get back in the team.
No.
So, yeah, do you think they will get Aubameyang?
Yeah.
And what have you made of them so far this season?
Yeah,
Aubameyang's not starting the game tonight, by the way. He's on the bench. So there we go.
Well, that says it all to me that he'll be going to Chelsea. Simple as. The guy's got a point to prove. He's still got, he's probably still got his house over here, wherever he lives in London somewhere. And he's got all his Lamborghinis and things there. So he's going to come back and he's still got a point to prove in the Premier League. And you can't deny the guy his ambition in doing that. So fair play to him. But yeah, I think he'll get him. Regarding Chelsea, they've misfired the start of the season, but they'll be back. We know that. Again, a club with a top-class manager, some very good players in who they've brought in. So they'll be up there. They'll be challenging. And I'll make this again. Come October, just before we start into the World Cup, they'll be up there. No doubt about it. And it is what it is. And that's why I'm not getting overly... Well, I am. I'm loving what I'm seeing at the moment with Arsenal, but I'm not going to sit here and say, "Oh, yeah, we'll still be in first come October." Because we've got to play some big teams before then and now, and let's see what we can do. It's all right beating some of these teams that we've played, and respect to them, but it's when we come up against the big boys that's when we've got to prove our ability. And if between then and now we get some injuries, we are in deep crap. Simple as that.
What about you, Kenny? Kenny's froze.
Anyway,
He's not frozen. Hello.
Sorry.
I'll put myself on mute. That's cool. Because I want to hear what Jez says. I'll put myself on mute. I always put myself on mute when other people are talking. But, you know, in saying at Chelsea, if Chelsea want to win the league, they need to get a midfielder in, because I think we've all kind of collectively, well, more you than me and Jez, Lee, you've stated that you know that Kante is not the player he was 6 years ago when they bought him from Leicester, and you say it on a regular basis, and you're right, you know, you cannot string, you know, a whole season of 30 or 40, 30 to 50 games a season, and they want to challenge the league. So if Chelsea want to win the league, in my opinion, they need to get another midfielder in. It's all well and good getting buying Sterling, buying all these like players to replace the players they've got already, getting a new, getting Aubameyang in. That's fine. But if without a top class midfielder to, you know, either play alongside Kante or eventually replace him, then they're going to struggle, because, you know, as much as you know, Kante's and just Kovacic isn't on his level, he does an excellent job for Chelsea. He gives them a bit of beef. He gives protection for Jorginho. But as a midfielder, you really want a top class midfielder. You want a freelance. Dare I say it? A very fit Thomas Partey would do well there. You know what I mean?
That's why I was shocked.
We've got Thomas Partey. They haven't.
They needed a Casemiro, a destroyer.
Well, yeah,
as well.
definitely. And you know, Chelsea over the years with Roman and we're seeing the same with Bowley now. Age is not a factor, so they will be thereabouts. They will definitely be getting into, you know, top 4 or top 3, which they normally do. So they'll probably win the FA Cup and they'll probably win the League Cup. But in terms of them trying to get them a challenge for that league, the Champions League, without a top class midfielder, forget it, mate. They'll because in the daddy games they'll get done. Liverpool will batter them in the league matches, and Man City will batter them as well without a top class midfielder, and we'll beat them without a top class midfielder, because we've got the Indian rubber sign over Chelsea.
Yeah, I agree, mate. I totally agree. I think they badly need depth in midfield. That you look at their midfield, Kovacic is always injured. Kante can't do a whole season. Mason Mount's not done anything this season. Conor Gallagher got sent off yesterday. You can't rely on Conor Gallagher for a whole season. He's a youngster. This ain't Palace. This is now Chelsea. Do you know what I mean? The levels of expectation are through the roof at Chelsea compared to Palace. And Loftus-Cheek is playing right wing back at times, and I don't think he's even good enough to be at Chelsea. You know, I just don't see anything about that guy's game that I rate. So I think they need a Frankie de Jong. They need a player in that midfield, somebody like that can open the door and bag some goals as well. Big up to Malcolm as well. Thoughts on Anthony? We've spoken about that, mate, about 15 minutes ago. Massive fee. Good player, but the pressure is on him now, isn't it? And yeah, I don't want to hear any Man United fans ever mention Pepe to me ever again if this guy flops. Yeah, because the first poor performance he puts in, I'm coming for all the Man United fans that cuss Pepe. So yeah, rewind it back, mate, about 15 minutes ago. Yeah, if you want to listen to all three of us and what we said, appreciate it, man. We are going to wrap this up, guys. Yes, did you see this Newcastle goal today? Oh my days, what a finish!
Yeah.
But again, the problem with this guy is he is made of glass, and he then done his hamstring about 10 minutes later. It's mad. Every time he gets a run of good games, he ends up getting injured. That's been like it for his whole career. But there we go. But listen, we are going to wrap this up. I'll be back again tomorrow. I think I'm on with Dan Potts on his channel tomorrow. And then I'll be doing my show on here as well. What you got coming up, Jez?
I haven't got anything planned, mate, at the moment, to be honest. I will. I might tomorrow just do a quick match review of the game yesterday. I am going to do some history stuff. I haven't done any history stuff for ages. And on that note, quick history thing. This day, 1928, was Arsenal away at Sheffield United, and Arsenal were the first ever team to play with numbers on their back.
There you go. Was you there?
Yeah.
It's funny you say that. It's funny you say that, Jez. Someone sent me something on Instagram reminding me of that today. Although they got the wrong, they said Sheffield Wednesday instead of Sheffield United. I'm going with you because you know our history back the front. Yeah, so it was one of the Sheffield clubs, but someone did send a reminder me about that to me regarding Sheffield, one of the Sheffield clubs. He said Wednesday instead of United.
Sheffield United, man. But yeah, I'm going to do a couple of history stuff. And I haven't done it for ages and ages and ages. I mean, they don't get great views, but I don't care. I just enjoy doing them. But it's what it is. Yeah.
There you go. Kenny, anything coming up, mate?
Well, you know what's coming up. I'm going to go to the Aston Villa game, and I'm going to go to the entrance of the Emirates to speak to you afterwards. And I'm going to be doing my Instagram, stuff. Little reels. I finally discovered reels. And I realised that you do quick reels. If you do quick Instagram reels and you tag in you guys, my brother and the club, and that goes on Facebook. So people don't follow me on Instagram who've got Facebook accounts. They see the word Arsenal, bang, they go and have a look, and they seem to like what's going on. So definitely going to be doing that. But, going to the match, it's got to be happening, And then obviously, I've got excellent, as you can see, I've got an excellent vantage point. After the game, and people have always, even when we're doing the fan cams, have always, said hello, and people from their cars. One of Lee Judge's mates, great guy, lovely guy. We always have a big hug before the game. He drives, he parks his car because he's got a disability as well. So, it's great vantage point. Look forward to it. That'll be my ritual, match day ritual, Instagram and talking to you guys after the match.
Happy days. Right, guys, we're out of here. Big up to everyone who has watched. Big up to everyone watching on playback. Smash the likes before you leave. And I'll be back again tomorrow. Adios, amigos. Arteta fuera.
Arteta out.